My name is Ilana Weiss, and this is my Jewish geography story. We used to live in Omaha, Nebraska, so we would have a lot of random people passing through who just happened to be traveling and needed a place for Shabbat. So we had a couple over. All we knew about them in advance was that they were coming from Israel and they were on some kind of trip. As I was talking to the wife before our meal on Friday night, she mentioned that she previously lived in Boston. And I said, "Oh, so interesting. My husband lived in Boston." So we started playing Jewish geography, and I mentioned my father in law, Dr. Arnold Weiss, who was a pediatric dentist there. So a lot of people knew him. And she said to me, "Wait a second, your husband's father is Dr. Weiss, the dentist?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh, I was your husband's first grade teacher." And then she proceeded to tell me a bunch of things about what he was like during that time. And I said, "That sounds about right." So that was story number one. Story number two is the flip side. We had over two young women. One of them was someone who came to us a couple of times because she was a grad student in Iowa and sometimes would come to Omaha for Shabbat. And this time she brought along a friend who was coming out to visit her. So around the Friday night table, we were talking, and this friend mentioned where she grew up, and she was from the Northeast. So we again started playing Jewish geography because my husband and I are both from there. And she mentioned where she went to elementary school. And then my husband was like, "Well, that's where I taught." And then they figured out that he was actually her teacher in elementary school, which made us feel a little bit old.